Welcome back to Iron Fist Songwriting. Today Scott and I are tackling a new song with a riff idea that I sent over to him. So let's let him introduce this.
Hello out there. We've been going for a while, haven't we? We got through the last songwriting episode before Halloween, and then we got busy with our release for the Kiss Room, Held Hostage, and then of course this year's Fistmas tune. But now Mike and I are back to see if we can put together another episode for you on songwriting. So here we go.
It began as a dream with two kids in high school. There was a spark, magic, chemistry. Then life happened. But 30 years later, the fire was reignited. The band is back, better and badder than ever. They prolifically turn out new music, songs hitting the tops of the charts in various corners of the world. Rockin' you since '82. Iron Fist.
Okay, yeah, so as I was just saying, last time around, Mike and I were working with an idea for our Halloween-themed spooky tune, and that ended up being Stranded in the Shadows, and we haven't really done much since, at least that we felt like was YouTube-worthy. So this time around, I think what we're going to do is knock an idea back and forth, and sort of let you in on the process as it begins, like right from the get-go. So what I have here open on my computer at work is a file from Mike where he just sent me an MP3 and said this is a riff for a potential song. So this is going to be the first time that I am actually hearing it. Here we go. Oh, that makes the bubbles in my champagne just rise. I love it. I love what the bass is doing in there. It's like really kind of all over the place. I like that. It's moving around a lot. Let me hear it again. Okay, and I really hear that second time through, I really hear what Mike's doing. Like on the first riff, down and 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 he's really just like pulling one note on the bass, but then when it goes into that secondary thing is when it starts going doo 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 doo. That's really cool. That's fun. I'm gonna map out just the number of measures that are there and kind of the key hits that Mike has going on, and see if I can figure out what his tempo is, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I got that sketched out. Just so you know, this is like the kind of thing I do when I sketch out. I'm just writing down the number of measures that Mike did and the hits, and that's all it is. Nothing complicated. bottom bum bottom bum bottom bum bottom bum bottom 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 bum bottom bum bottom bum bottom bum bottom 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 bum bottom bum bottom bum bottom bum bottom bottom bottom. But down, down, down. No, ran out of breath there. So it seems like that's about a 120 beats per minute. Sounds like Mike's an A, drop tuned, a half step, of course, so an A flat actually, and that's cool. The second set of 8 measures there is exactly the same chord run and riff as the first set of A measures. All he's doing is funkying up the bass a little bit, so that's cool. So a number of different ways I could go with this for a drum part. I'd like to try to reflect the fact that Mike is introducing some different bass stuff in the second set of 8. So I would like to increase my own drumming complexity somewhere in there. It's possible that I could just start out with those first 8 measures almost just with the 4 on the floor. Doom, 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 doom. Maybe do some sort of little work on the toms. Doom, 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 doom. Possible I could do that. I could start out with just a basic beat, you know, just a down, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, you know, just to average 1, 2, 3, 4 on the kick and the snare. I could also fluff this around and do like a real offbeat thing. Sort of what I do with the bass and the snare, the kick and the snare rather, not to be confused with the bass guitar, the kick and the snare in like Unleash the Beast, where I'm letting the kick and the snare pattern follow exactly what the riff pattern is. So for this, that might be something like doon, da, doon, da, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That might be kind of fun. I might put all 3 of those together. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to download this audio file so that I've got it in just something like Audacity or whatever that I can work with, and pull it into that, and then I'll try ripping out a few different versions of a drum beat, and that's probably actually what I'll send to Mike. So let me get to that, and we will be right back after these messages. Okay, so I put some stuff together in my notation file. I couldn't, technology. I couldn't get it brought into Audacity because my work computer is not playing well with some non-Mac apps, and yeah, so I can't combine them together all interestingly, but I can at least play what I came up with. This is the one, this is the idea that I think I'm leaning more strongly towards, and this is sort of just the steady 4 on the floor in the bass drum, with then some tom work above it that accentuate what Mike's doing. So sounds like this. 4 clicks in. Okay, that idea. I like that. I'm never a big fan of over drumming. I remember in some of the later Wasp stuff, when Frankie Banali was the drummer for Wasp, on the earlier things that he was involved in, like The Last Command, and even Inside the Electric Circus, I thought his drumming was really tasty. On some of the later Wasp stuff that came after that, I felt like he had a tendency to really over drum on the toms, and that's not something that I personally am a big fan of. That said, I do like noodling around on my toms, and as long as I can make it fit what's going on with the music, I think that's okay. So Let me grab you here and let's go over to the piano and I will play for you Mike's like intended riff against this stuff. So here we go. And so forth. Okay, so you could hear the other ones start to creep in already. Sorry, that was like as I slid the thing across the desk. That was fun, wasn't it? Okay, so that's one way I'm thinking about going, and I like that. That may be a little similar to what I did in Bride of Mass Destruction. And I don't want to straight up repeat stuff I've done before, but then again, I feel like there gets to be a point at which if you're going to fool around on the toms, I'm only working with 4 toms currently. I have a lot more than that, but I'm only working with 4. See, there you go again. So if I'm only working with 4 toms, and I feel like there's like a finite number of patterns that work well with what Mike has established here. So the other thing that you heard coming up was just more akin to just the kick and snare with some hi-hats going on. And that's where I'm sort of playing with the timing of it. So instead of just doing a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, what I played instead was 1. Let's see, I'll see if I can get you a good bass drum here on the floor. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, like that. So one more time, this one isn't going to have the click in, but I'm going to see if I can get make this go on. Let's actually back this up to measure 10, so I can at least have that. Hey, do you like my chin? How about that? Okay. This is no Steadicam. All right, so here's this idea. And then that would have the same kind of crash, crash, and run down the toms. Crash, crash, and run down the toms. So those are the directions I'm thinking of going, and I like the idea a lot. I'm gonna guess that right now this is probably, I don't know what Mike contends with this. If this is the intro riff, and then there's gonna be something else that takes off once we get into some vocals, or if this is gonna be both the intro riff and then put vocals over top of it. I don't particularly have a melody in mind for this yet, but give it time. Give it time. All right, so I think that's all I got for today, and I will throw it back over to him and see what he's got for you, and we'll see where this little experiment goes. All right, that's it. Rock.
Hey, thanks, Scott. So we're back over here in the studio, and Scott, in the meantime, has sent me the drum tracks to go along with this little riff. So we're going to dump that in so that you can hear what it sounds like altogether in a studio demo type track. It's only the 8 measures, of course. And he had mentioned, not sure what I was thinking about this. And so I wanted to say to you, we aren't talking about what we're thinking about most of this. We're really doing that with you. So the conversations we're having, you're actually witnessing. I sent him the track. He'd never heard it. I watched him hear it for the first time. I heard his thoughts. I saw him start putting together some drum stuff. And the first I've seen that. We have not talked about it. And so that's our intent in this particular series, is to do our communicating for the most part. Not 100%, I'm sure, but for the most part, we're going to do our communicating here, right on the YouTube channel, and let you see us work out a song. So it's going to be fun. We haven't done this particular style for quite a while. We've written 40 songs together, and we have, well, more than that, probably 60 or 70 songs together. We've released almost 40. But we haven't done this one since probably On Its Way as far as this type of thing. And what he did in that, which was still a bit different, was he just recorded a drum track and sent it to me. And I wrote a song and sent it back to him. And that's where the song On Its Way came from. And actually the title, On Its Way, was the track. It's on its way. So there you go. And then we, of course, morphed it into, as all of the fans know, the future is on its way. So anyway, just wanted to give you a little of that background here on what we're doing here and how we're doing it, and we'll go from there. So let's, I'm going to get can't talk today. I'm going to get this drum track downloaded and dump it into the DAW and put it with the guitar track, and we'll see what we've got. So that was a bit of an ordeal. It takes me a while to get these drum tracks laid out, get them in their proper grooves, get the motion good, so that to the ear, it's like you're in the audience listening, and so the snare is a little bit to the right, the hi-hats are a little bit to the right, the toms are coming down to the right, etc., etc. This way, actually, but coming down to the left. Anyway, I confused myself from playing on the drums to listening to the drums, and we always try to do it as though we are standing at the front of the stage listening to things. So things should move like you're watching a live concert. So that's how we do it. So anyway, got all those done, got them all EQ'd out, roughed in. They sound pretty good. So I'm going to go back to the straight up quarter kicks that he was doing and let you listen to that. And then I'll shut that one off and I'll put in the second drum track, which has the syncopated kick, and let you hear that, and then we'll talk about it. So let's get this going here right now. Hopefully I got the right thing going. Sounds pretty good. So let's turn that drum track off, and then let's listen to the sample of the second drum track. I like it. So, of course, I spent a lot of time listening to that because I was mixing it down and so forth. And the first, with the straight up quarter kicks, the thing that struck me was it sounds an awful lot like Lookout. Lookout has a lot more tribal drum toms, but there was something about it. I thought, boy, we've done a drum track like this. Now, as Scott said, you've only got so many drums. We have, 4 studio toms. He has a lot more than that. We could do live, but he only uses what we do in the studio with his bright red sparkle set. So we're limited in some ways without buying more toms, and I don't think either of us really want to do that. So I kind of was liking the straight up kick and thought that was the way I wanted to go. But the more I listened to that syncopated, I like it. I like it a lot. And it's something different. Yes, I think there was in Bride of Mass Destruction, and he mentioned Unleash the Beast, but it wasn't reminiscent. And the hardcore fans may disagree and say, "Oh yeah, that's very much alike." But I've probably spent no more time listening to those songs than anybody because I did all the mixing and mastering on that stuff besides playing it all. And I didn't have any feel that it was reminiscent of those two songs. Yeah, Don't Fake It had something similar too, but I don't have any, alarms and whistles going off after listening to those songs literally thousands of times and having them drilled deeply into my head. I think I like this syncopated drum track better. So let's listen to that one more time. I may just institute the studio track right here, just so that you can hear it clearly as I'm hearing it right now. So let's come from the intro. Love it loud. Yeah, I like it. So that's going to be my recommendation. He's the drummer. He's got to play it. So ultimately, it's his call. But if I'm going to lean on one or the other, that's the one I'm going to lean on. I like that a lot. So what's next? Well, we don't know if this is an intro. We don't know if this is a verse. We don't know if this is a chorus. And he mentioned he didn't know what I was thinking. You assumed I was thinking? I don't think. When I played it and recorded it initially and did the two guitars and the bass guitar part, I kind of felt like it might be a song intro, but the more I've listened to it, I almost feel like it could be a verse. We don't know. And I'm purposely not going to stand on it and say, it's got to be this, because, yeah, it's my song concept, but we have no idea what the title of the song is. We have 0 for lyrics. We have 0 for melody. My guess is, knowing how his brain works as he's been on the road going back and forth from Central Michigan University, I'm guessing he's got some ideas here. So I'm curious to see where this goes. So I feel like maybe, Scott, you should listen to this, watch this video, and then maybe give your reaction to that, and we'll just see where it goes. Obviously, one of us is going to have to make a decision, so we'll see. But we've got a week before the next episode comes out. So I want to thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We're doing this for you, so we're really trying to envelop and include you in our songwriting and the way we do it. So you literally, if he and I were sitting here in the studio together, this is very much like what we would be doing. This is even more like what we actually do, because he lives 100 miles away. And we send videos and audios back and forth, and all we're doing is turning the camera on and speaking out loud the stuff that we're thinking, and including you in the process of how we communicate. And I think we're going to do more of that on some different levels, but for right now, that's where we're going to stay. So again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it would benefit you to, because I really think you're going to learn a lot from this process. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell so you receive all the notifications. Like the video, please. Also spread the word. If you're in Facebook groups, if you're in Instagram, and this is something that is, you like, Twitter, wherever you happen to be, take this thing and share it. We would really like to share this with other people and help people learn more about how to write music. That's why we're doing this. Obviously, we're sharing how we write music. Scott has his doctorate in music composition. He's a lot smarter than I am about music. So we come at things from two different ways. I'm very more what's the word, tactile and intuitive in my songwriting. I don't really know what I'm doing. I have some basic understanding. I was in band and I play piano and stuff like that, but and I had a few music theory classes and so forth in college, but he's got his doctorate in this stuff. And so the way we work together is he has all these concepts and ideas, and then I kind of put skin on it and make that skeleton happen, as you saw in the last series. In this series, this time I took the lead and came up with a lick, but at the end of the day, I know his creative mind is going. So you're not going to want to miss that process. It's fascinating. I've been watching him, working with him since 1982, and the way that we work together is just magic. And we want to include you in the magic that is Iron Fist. So thanks, guys. If you're on Facebook, /Iron Fist Online. If you're on Instagram, /Iron Fist Online is us. Bye.
Living in a world, a